Tokyo 2020, Nigeria shines at global stage with medals. Cracks in PDP, 7 National Working Committee members resign.
Most of the waste are generated by households, which litter the immediate surroundings.
Preventing cholera outbreak, federal government comes up with roadmap on waste disposal and environmental management. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Ian Ray John. Adiola Komiakere joins me from Lagos. Thank you for joining us. The aspiration of many Nigerians, both home and abroad, is for the nation to win many medals at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. However, this was short-lived, with all hopes dangling on few athletes still in the race, like Brume and Blessing Oburududu. For Blessing, despite a knee injury suffered from the first bout, she waggled her way, beating 3 other champions to reach the finals, thus surpassing the records of the last 2 Olympics. In this report, Oche Ngbede examines how Brume and Oburududu put their names in the record books.
Nigeria, like every other country, is among the 206 countries and territories competing at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Although not a good start for Team Nigeria at the Olympics, as the country faced disqualification of some of its athletes. But gradually, Nigeria got its footing again as the country's name has been written in the medals table. It was Brume, a 3-time African senior champion in the long jump, that crested the country's name when she won the first bronze medal for Nigeria in long jump. Blessing Oburududu, a 10-time African champion from 2010 to 2020, gave Nigeria another ray of hope when she qualified for the finals, and despite the knee injury, she included her name in the record book as the first Nigerian wrestler to win a wrestling medal at the Olympics. Blessing's medal, which is Nigeria's second in Tokyo Olympics, has helped to surpass the previous record of London 2012 and Rio 2016. Odunayo Adegoroye could increase the tally when she begins her quest for a place in history on Wednesday. Another Team Nigerian finalist, Chikebuka Enekwechi, is through to the final of the men's shot put, though he came fourth with 21.16 centimeter throw. It is looking that he may give Nigeria another medal as well. Currently, Nigeria is 64 on the medals table of the Olympics with 1 silver, 1 bronze. It is not over yet for Team Nigeria as there is hope for more medals. In Abuja, Oche Ngbede, NTA News.
Seeing Nigeria on the medals table at the ongoing Tokyo Olympics gives me great joy. Buddy, how does that make you feel?
Of course, just like many other sport-loving Nigerians, it really, feels good that we have, Nigeria on the medals table now. Beautiful.
All right, so let's have more sports news.
All right, welcome to Sports Update. Let's begin with the Olympics, as the federal government has tripled the prize money for Team Nigeria medalists at the ongoing Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Making the announcement Tuesday in Tokyo after wrestler Blessing Oburududu won Team Nigeria's second medal of the Games. Director of Federation and Elite Athletes Department of the Youth and Sports Development Ministry, Simon Obujaye, said the gesture is an appreciation of the impressive and historic performances put up by the athletes. Gold medalists will now be rewarded with $15,000, while silver and bronze medalists will each get $10,000 and $7,500 respectively. The all-year award is $5,000 for gold, $3,000 for silver, and of course $2,000 for bronze. Beautiful to see. Let's come back home and talk golf. Sports federations in the country have been tasked to seek more public-private partnerships in order to have sporting infrastructure of international standard. The charge was given at the Parkland Golf Resort monthly mug as Ajia Mohammed shot a level par 54 on the par 3 golf course to emerge overall champion.
I play regularly at Parkland Golf Resort Club. I also play amongst other players who are capable to win as I did. I have won in the past. This is not my first time of winning, and I believe that next time I come, I'll still stand a chance to win.
Sports traditionally might be perceived as entertainment or leisure, but sports is an economy. Sports is a business. Sports is a developmental tool, a societal developmental tool. So to be able to plan sporting facilities and sporting infrastructure properly, you have to understand what the scope of what you're dealing with is.
Let's talk football now, as Premier League players from all 20 clubs will continue to take a knee during the upcoming 2021-2022 season to highlight their opposition to racism. Players and staff have been taking a knee prior to kickoff in games since June 2020 to show their support for the movement for racial equality. The decision is wholeheartedly supported by the Premier League, with players and match officials wearing "No Room for Racism" badges on their shirts. And that does it on Sports Update. It's back to you.
Thank you, Buddy, for starting the bulletin today. Now, let's talk health. Towards having a functional and efficient healthcare service delivery in the country, the Nigerian Medical Association and the Association of Resident Doctors are calling on government to provide standard infrastructural facilities and ensure their allowances are paid to bring to an end the nationwide strike. Serafina Okon-Umwekwe has an update on this report.
Work and improve on the primary healthcare system tops agenda as Nigerian Medical Association holds its annual general meeting amidst nationwide strike embarked upon by resident doctors. Dr. Roland Aigbovo, who is the immediate past president, Association of Resident Doctors FCT chapter, and the treasurer Nigerian Medical Association say the timeline given to government has not been met towards improving the Nigerian healthcare system.
We realize that in the FCT, so many people are unable to afford, especially those who are in the lower social strata. They are unable to afford the kind of health care, and the primary health care system, which should be what they should get to, is not as functional as we would want it to be for obvious reasons. One is infrastructural decay, which is more like what happens everywhere.
On the review of hazard allowances, and so harped on the needs to strengthen primary healthcare system.
We are not very insensitive. We are not oblivious of the fact that the economy is in a crunch. But we would like government to really walk the talk.
NTA News crew visited the National Hospital, Abuja, where this patient, Binta, says she was unattended to.
How can we come to the hospital on an appointment and not see a doctor? We are not really okay with what is happening with the healthcare system in Nigeria.
The resident doctors say once the minimum requirements are met, the strike will be called off. Serafina Okon-Umwekwe, NTA News.
And then security, the Nigerian Army War College will be participating in a joint operations planning exercise in the Naval and Air Force War Colleges. This was contained in a message by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, to the Army War College Second Symposium on the Nigerian Civil War. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
These are officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces and those from allied countries in a critical platform that seek to draw lessons from the Nigerian Civil War. Areas of interest include how to develop an effective logistics system that supports a proactive combat team in a dynamic security threat situation.
Logistics obtains in both peacetime, but especially so under operational conditions. It gives meaning to the tanks. All of these become useful and meaningful when there is efficient and effective logistics. Otherwise, these are but numbers.
This course also focuses on upscaled joint operations to address the current multifaceted security challenges.
Contemporary war fighting will remain joint and is not likely to change in the foreseeable future. Hence, any joint effort directed at preparing operational level officers to be aligned to this reality is commendable.
The essence is to study and teach the operational level activities of the war for better understanding of battlefield events and operational outcomes towards situating them in contemporary operating environments.
63 officers from Nigeria and 4 from allied countries are participating in the second edition of the Nigerian Civil War Symposium, organized by the Nigerian Army War College. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Still on security, the Imo State Police Command has arrested one Emmanuel Naji, an alleged IPOB member from Olu local government area. A statement by the Police Public Relations Officer, Michael Abatam, indicates that on interrogation, the suspect gave useful information on the location of a hotel in Olu local government area used by members of the group for criminal activities, including attacks on police stations, as well as the beheading of a young man. Subsequently, 26 suspects have been arrested, of which 7 are females. Other items include 1 AK-47 rifle, 5 pump-action rifles, 4 double-barrel locally made pistol, 8 live cartridges, a signboard with Biafra insignia, among other items were recovered. While condemning these cases of violence in Olu, the PPRO noted the arrest of one Boniface Okeke, aged 57, who was allegedly linked to terrorism, financing of IPOB activities while he was outside the country. He assures that investigations are ongoing as the suspects are still undergoing interrogation. The Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, retired Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, says about 17% of the people living in Ogun State engage in drug abuse and other substances. He stated this in Abeokuta during his advocacy visit to Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun. Anthony Gandunu reports.
This, according to the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, NDLEA was part of its nationwide advocacy to NDLEA state commands in the country to appraise their activities for optimal performance, commending Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun for initiating policies capable of combating the menace in the state. The NDLEA board says the state can do more to assist the agency in carrying out its mandate effectively.
We have decided that we have to do barracks with the support of the federal government. And the first step will be to acquire land. So that request is going to come for land for the state command so that we can have barracks that will provide a secure and conducive environment.
Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, who presented operational van motorcycles to the command in the state, says his administration has been consistent in its approach to wage war against drug abuse and other substances.
The prevalence of drug abuse is highest in the southwest, and whatever it is we can do to partner with you to reduce this prevalence of drug abuse, Your Excellency, you can take that for granted.
The Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA had earlier paid homage to the Alaki and paramount ruler of Egba land, Oba Adedotun Aremugbadebo, for rare blessings, and later interfaced with officers and men of the Ogun State Command and other stakeholders on how to stem the tide of drug abuse in the country.
And away from Ogun State now, another milestone towards eliminating all forms of sexual and gender-based violence in Nigeria has been reached with stakeholders from the formal and informal sectors at the front burner. Ngozi Silva Technicure reports that this time, attention is focusing not only on prevention, but also reintegrating victims for a new start.
Run, woman, let me see. Run! Woman, I love you. A gathering to come up with legal weapons to clamp down on sexual predators and clip the wings of those treating women as sponge bags. To achieve this is the reason behind the launch of the USAID Momentum Country and Global Leadership, and the Ministry of Women Affairs is a critical partner. Federal government talks tough on ensuring zero tolerance for gender-based violence.
It is time we rise up to the challenges posed by this menace and constantly speak out against this evil perpetrated by mindless and cruel individuals in our society.
The issues affecting women are so huge
that what you've seen out here is just the tip of the iceberg.
Some artistic displays depict the reality of the event.
5 years is a good way to get started, but it will take some time and commitment to achieve the goals of the project.
This project is going to be engaging with communities to explore the social norms that continue to drive gender-based violence in our communities.
So the commitment, as far as I'm concerned, is 100%.
Survivors of SGBV are expected to benefit in the areas of empowerment, medical, social and legal services in the two pilot states of Sokoto and Ebonyi. Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
Time for our first break. Please stay. Thank you for staying. President Muhammad Buhari has felicitated with the President of Nigeria Republic, Mohammed Bazoum, on the country's Independence Day being observed today, August 3, 2021. The President, in a statement, describes Nigeria Republic as one of Nigeria's best friends in Africa and that the French-speaking country has always demonstrated tremendous goodwill towards Nigeria. He noted that the colonial identity of the people of Nigeria Republic has never affected the spirit of mutual respect and brotherliness with their Nigerian neighbors. President Buhari described Nigeria's President Bazoum as a great Africanist who has demonstrated statesmanship since his election in April this year. Now talking politics, the governor Maimala Buni-led All Progressives Congress Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee says it will not accept results from parallel ward congresses. John James Akpanodo-Adehe, National Secretary to the Caretaker Committee, disclosed this as a guest on NTA's Political Update. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
The conduct of APC ward congresses across the country is in line with the Caretaker Committee's mandate to rebuild the party, reconcile aggrieved party members, and elect executives into its elective offices. July 31st ward congresses commenced the crucial role of giving the party new leaders, starting from the ward levels. These The National Secretary, APC Caretaker Committee, John James Akpanodo-Adehe, says meets the requirements of the party's constitution with assurance that only results from authorized party electoral committees are authentic.
If you are dissatisfied, don't break the law. Wait until we set up the panel, which is coming next week. That panel will recommend, if we are going again to do the congresses in those places, it's not for you to flout the law or the decision of NEC. We will not tolerate that. Ours own business is not personal. It's to implement the decision of our leaders or the decision of NEC. That's what we do.
He urged party faithful to remain firm and have confidence in the rebranding process by the Caretaker Committee as mandated to it by the National Executive Committee of the party. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
In other news, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to reimbursing state governments that have intervened in executing federal road projects after undergoing rigorous assessments. Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, gave the assurance shortly after inspecting some federal road projects in some parts of YOBE State, which were executed by the state government. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, was in the state to inspect and assess the 273 kilometers federal government road projects executed by YOBE State government for subsequent reimbursement. The roads inspected include Guru Machine 57 kilometers, Gashua Yusufari 30.5 kilometers, Damatru Bunyadi Magza 77 kilometers, as well as Kaliari Bayamari Gaidam 109 kilometers respectively.
There are standard pricings for materials and there are also standard designs. We will file our report based on what we find. We have a method for making quantification. Then we will send it to the government cost control center and they will then advise government as to what is due and payable.
The total quantum of money for all the projects which we have already constructed
is about over 20 billion, which the Yobe State government is requesting for the fund.
According to Fashola, already some state governments that have intervened in executing federal government roads were refunded last year by the Buhari-led administration. The minister also inspected the ongoing special repairs of heavily flooded area in Guru Town, causing washout along Guru Machina Road, where the Yobe State Controller of Works, Engineer Olusegun Akimade, adequately briefed him on the progress of work done. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, has applauded his Niger State counterpart for embarking on people-oriented projects as well as prompt payment of salaries to public servants in the state. He gave the commendation after inaugurating 4.3 kilometers Bosu Estate Road network in Minna, the Niger State capital. Husseina Musa reports.
It became necessary for the Abubakar Sani Bello-led administration to reconstruct and rehabilitate some township roads. The Boso Estate 5 roads network, which was initially constructed in the late 1980s, was selected to improve its aesthetics and serve as alternate link to other neighborhoods, aid traffic flow, as well as improve the socio-economic status of the residents.
A very good job, and it was done in record time. The entire estate's security have been beefed up.
We that have been living in this estate, we know how the condition of the estate road was. So now we are grateful.
In an effort to close the infrastructural deficit, especially in the urban areas, the state government embarked on urban renewal program.
In 2015, I took time to drive around the Boso estate, and I noticed the difficult conditions under which residents there had to live with. From that moment, I decided something must be done.
It's important for those who reside there to also protect this road on behalf of themselves and on behalf of the people.
The projects were funded under the federal government Infrastructural Development Support Fund given to states as a result of the fall in the price of crude oil and increased running costs in 2015. In Minna, Husseina Musa, NTA News.
And on food security, since 2018, the federal government started the distribution of emergency agriculture inputs to farmers that are affected by floods in order to improve agricultural yields. Ilyasu Ali Yakub reports that the exercise will get towards preventing any form of food crisis that may occur as a result of flood.
Available records from the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, indicate that 382,208 farmers were affected by the 2020 flood devastation across the country. Kebbi State has its own share of this devastation. Vice Chairman, National Food Security and Governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, flagged off the distribution of emergency agricultural input to farmers affected by the 2020 floods in Kebbi State. The agricultural input meant for Kebbi State include 15 trucks of rice seedlings, 10 trucks of maize, 6 trucks of sorghum, 15 trucks of knapsack sprayers, 6 trucks of water pump machine, 9 trucks of herbicides, and 5 trucks of pesticides. Others are 8 trucks of growth enhancer and 161 trucks of fertilizer. The benefiting farmers commended the federal government for the commitment at ensuring immediate intervention.
We are very happy for the assistance given us.
We want to express our appreciation for this support. Governor Atiku Bagudu, who emphasized the need for equal and equitable distribution of the support to farmers affected across the country.
This is part of the broader package of intervention that President Muhammad Buhari has been given in a lot of areas, which is mobilizing our hardworking men and women across Nigeria in farming.
Sir, permit me to acknowledge the food security is the fastest driver to communal harmony, peace and development of all nations.
The exercise is expected to commence in all the 36 states of the country.
With the increasing rate of poor sanitation-induced ailments such as cholera, The federal government will no longer tolerate all unsustainable disposal of waste in Nigeria, and as such, a roadmap of extended producer responsibility is being drawn by stakeholders to aid the nation in enforcing global action against indiscriminate waste disposal systems. This was at a forum organized by the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NIGER, in Abuja. Ikechukwu Ndukwe reports.
Teza, Ubo, and Olufonto Boroface are business executives. They have been waiting for a day for the national dialogue on the implementation of the National Environmental Regulations, especially the Extended Producer Responsibility Program.
The companies have to make plans in their product pricing and their product planning stages on how to mop up these plastic bottles from our environment.
Well, it's part of the, this new green growth that is happening, not just even Nigeria, but globally. And Nigeria needs to, be strategic and be part of that global trend.
Minister of State Environment Sharon Ikazo underscores the importance the National Environmental Standards and Regulatory Agency (NESRA) places on ensuring sustainable disposal system in Nigeria and its benefits.
Most of the waste are generated by households and in some cases by local industries, artisans and traders, which litter the immediate surroundings. The above scenario informed government to introduce policies and programs aimed at halting the devastation of the environment.
The federal government recognizes the importance of EPR and the benefits of EPR as well in the sustainable management of waste. And we have endorsed the efforts of NESRA to facilitate the implementation of the scheme.
Once a blueprint is drawn, industries will be responsible for disposal of their products in line with global action against unsustainable environment. In Abuja, Ikechukwu Ndukwe, NTA News.
All seems not to be well for the Prince Uche Secondus-led National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party following the resignation of 7 national officers of the party this Tuesday. Timothy Yusuf reports.
7 deputy national officers made up of Diron Odeyemi, Deputy National Publicity Secretary, Ahmed Bello, Deputy National Legal Advisor, Umaru Hatizat, Deputy National Women Leader, Divine Amina Arong, Deputy National Auditor, Hassan Yakubu, Deputy National Organizing Secretary, and Irona Alfonsos, Deputy National Financial Secretary, resigned their positions, citing what they described as bad treatment exhibited by the PDP National Chairman, Prince Uche Secondus, since the election that brought the current leadership of the party to power in 2017. The National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Kola Olobodion, reacting to the development, says a committee is already revived to address the issues.
The conflict resolution mechanism of our party has already been activated. So let us wait for the outcome of these resolutions.
The media assistant to the national chairman, Prince Uche Secondus, Ike Aboni, also reacts.
I want to correct something. Those who resign are not members of NWC. They are members of NEC, but not members of NWC. The structure of the party is intact, and Prince Secondus is national chairman. And anybody who resigns will be filled the next day.
The national youth leader of the PDP, Ude Ukoye, however, shares a contrary view.
Mr. Uche Secondus, the national chairman of the party, is incompetent of managing the affairs of this party. He lacks managerial capacity to manage PDP.
From the National Secretariat of the PDP in Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And away from politics, pensioners in the country under the aegis of Nigeria Union of Pensioners have appreciated and commended President Muhammadu Buhari for payment of major part of their backlog entitlements. The pensioners described President Buhari as a leader who listens to the yearnings and aspirations of his people. The union also says the federal government has commenced payments of pensioners nationwide through the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, with initial release of 12 months in June and another payment of 6 months in July. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the deployment of 9 federal permanent secretaries. In a circular by the head of Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Iyemiyason, the deployments take immediate effect. The statement further adds that handing over processes should be completed on or before Friday, 6th August 2021, with the exception of the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Health, whose takeover will be on 13th August 2021. As part of efforts by the federal government to combat spread of fake news, hate speech and cyber-related crimes in the country, the National Orientation Agency and partners have commenced a nationwide training of 37,000 fact-checkers selected from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. Kenneth Nanim brings us details.
Spread of fake news, hate speech and other unverifiable information and their attendant consequences have posed great concern to the global community. To further strengthen campaign against spread of misguided information and utterances, especially through the social media platforms, the National Orientation Agency selected 1,000 persons of diverse backgrounds from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT to equip them with requisite modern skills and knowledge for fast-checking, of which some of them in the remote areas are participating virtually.
The moment a misinformation or a fake news goes out, clarification that usually follow this do not travel as fast as what has originally been sent out. And this is why we insist that we have to take measures to prevent the dissemination of fake news.
We have seen what rumor mongering, lies, distortions can do. So it's important that whatever we do, we check and cross-check the facts.
We of Radio Nigeria, Voice of Nigeria, NTA, use us as a yardstick to cross-check facts.
As part of 5-year strategic work plan, the agency says it will ensure that knowledge gained is put into practice in the information gatekeeping processes to ensure that the Nigeria project is realized. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Time now to join Adeola in Lagos for more reports. Adeola, it's over to you.
Thank you, Nyere. With more than 40 deaths recorded in the wake of third wave of COVID-19 pandemic in Lagos, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says efforts are being intensified to scale up vaccination and enhance surveillance at entry points into the state. Musa Toliat reports.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu attributed the fatalities recorded to the low-level second round of COVID-19 vaccination put at just 1%. He stressed that more stringent measures are being put in place to check inbound passengers and track those who escaped from being tested at the airport.
We will continue to employ all our inbound passengers arriving into Lagos to endeavor to provide valid contact details to the authorities so that they can all be properly monitored. To manage the third wave of this pandemic, the Equity element will continue to focus on monitoring and tracking inbound passengers and cases in our various communities.
The governor, who hinted that the state is expecting a sizable amount of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine from the 4 million recently delivered in Abuja, advised residents who took AstraZeneca vaccine as first dose not to take Moderna vaccine as second dose when the state rolls out the vaccine soon.
There's a sticker on your card, so we will know when you come that you've taken AstraZeneca. Right, and so you cannot come and take, Moderna as your second dose. So that's what we're also communicating, through you, gentlemen of the press, to say that once the vaccine comes in, people that have taken the first dose should still exercise a bit more patience and wait for the AstraZeneca vaccines to come.
Governor Sanwo-Olu also warned that non-pharmaceutical protocols are still being enforced, and anyone caught violating the protocols in public places will be prosecuted. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Now, Nigerian economy has maintained a steady but slight growth trajectory in several quarters of each financial year. This impact is on the backdrop of financial reforms and policies initiated by the federal government to drive economic recovery and development. While these economic reforms are all-inclusive, how effective are they in tackling money laundering headlong and strengthening economic stability? Abolade Salami will tell us in this report.
For a long time in Nigeria, money laundering has been a cankerworm, threatening economic growth and dragging the wheel of development backward. While the fight has been fought with lip service in previous years, a different approach was adopted by the present administration to empower the special money laundering units of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to nip in the bud the alarming scourge of illegal money transactions.
And as we know, money laundering is a dynamic crime. As such, they have found or think they have found a new area of the economy, such as the DNFIs. With us here, what we are doing is making sure we create a firewall and not letting them come through.
With the negative economic impact undermining the integrity of the financial system, loss of control of economic policy, economic distortion and instability, as well as loss of revenue, the Nigerian state suffered a huge loss to foreign portfolio investments.
At some point, there was almost a financial parade where the global community was not willing to do financial transactions involving Nigerians because they felt that a lot of illegal transactions were flowing out of Nigeria or were passing through Nigeria. There were no legal systems to track them and get punish offenders. So with EFCC, with the Money Laundering Act, we've seen a bonishing of our reputation, principally because we've gone a long way to clean up issues of financial fraud in the system.
It is hoped that the adoption of technology by government agencies in response to the sophisticated nature of financial crime will go a long way in winning the war against the graft in the shortest possible time. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. The news will continue after this break. Please stay with us.
Glad to have you back. Let's now join Benny Adams for an update in the world of business. Benny.
Thank you, Yeri, and welcome to business. We start by telling you that Nigeria is making a move to expand her moringa export capacity with a view to generating 9 billion naira annually as demand increases around the world. Nigeria's moringa is ranked one of the best in the world with high demand from Europe, Asia, and America. To further boost production nationwide, additional 1 million farmers are expected to participate in the production of the medicinal plant this year. The target is 10 billion moringa trees nationwide.
India generates over 3 times of Nigerian budget in only moringa. We have the capacity, even though as little as we are, we can export on a monthly basis not less than 2 to 3 billion naira worth of moringa.
OPEC Secretary General Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo has met with Mohammed Ali Bak, ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Iran, in Abuja, ahead of Secretary General's visit to that country. During the visit, the OPEC Secretary General is expected to hold meetings with officials of the incoming Iranian government, as well as Iran's outgoing Minister of Petroleum, to discuss issues concerning the cartel which has been navigating through difficulties brought about by COVID-19 pandemic, which member countries, including Nigeria, have been affected. And on the capital market, investors gained 163.22 billion naira as the all-share index appreciated by 0.81% to close at 38,917.99 basis points and equity capitalization at 20.1 trillion naira. 231.4 million shares valued at 2.1 billion naira exchanged hands in 4,651 deals. Market breadth closed negative as Wema Bank led 11 gainers as against 25 losers, topped by FTN Cocoa, Transcorp, Jais Bank and Honey Flour were the most active to boost market turnover, just as MTN Nigeria and Zenith Bank topped market value list. That is business. Nyeri, is over to you.
Thank you, Benny. Now, the Amended Finance Act 2020 has recognized the Nigeria Postal Services as the statutory authority to produce and collect stamp duties in Nigeria. Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila reports that this is coming as the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy unveils the official NIPOST revenue stamp.
This is the official unveiling of the NIPOST revenue stamp. The new NIPOST Transport and Logistics Company Microfinance Bank has some revenue sources on the way, which the Minister of Communication says are efforts to upgrade the agency.
In addition to that, we also have a plan of NIPOST Property and Development Company. This is a company that will bring together all the properties of NIPOST, develop them, and make sure that government is generating revenue from them.
The bill to repeal the Nigerian Postal Service Act and reenact the Nigerian Postal Commission as passed third reading of both chambers.
Through stamps, NIPOST has documented Nigerians is educating and preserving our national heritage, among others.
With the unveiling of the revenue stamp, NIPOST is finally free from all forms of constraints to execute its mandate for better service delivery. In Abuja, Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
The Federal High Court, Abuja Division, has ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to unfreeze the 2.1 billion naira bank account belonging to Dark Communications. The Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Soho, gave the order this Tuesday in Abuja. Justice Soho held that the order became necessary since the appellate court's verdict invalidated the criminal charges against Raymond Dokwesi, and the EFCC had not applied for stay of execution of the judgment. The court also ordered the commission to release all seized documents belonging to the applicant. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, as he turns 60. The president appreciates the economist and banker for his patriotic service to the country at a time of hard economic challenges, praying that his efforts will yield positive dividends for the generality of Nigerians to reap from. President Buhari wishes the CBN Governor good health and greater service to fatherland. Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives Ahmed Idris Wase has congratulated the Deputy President of the Senate, Ovi Omagege, on the occasion of his general well-being of every Nigerian. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari commiserates with Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dakpo Abiodun, and the Ikberu Remo family over the passing of their patriarch and renowned educationist, Dr. Emmanuel Adesonya Abiodun. The president believes Dr. Abiodun's passing, leaving a strong legacy of service to humanity, further stirs the need for reflection and making of right choices for living, particularly working for the betterment of mankind. President Buhari urges Governor Abiodun and all family members to take solace in the good works of their father. Time for another break. Please stay. The federal government is determined to support states towards improving service delivery through technological innovations. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Ali Pantami, said this while declaring open a 2-day capacity building program on e-governance and digital transformation for members of Kano State Executive. Abdullahi Mustafa has the report.
The e-governance and digital transformation capacity building training aims to motivate Kano State executives towards embracing ICT as an enabler of productivity and performance. It demonstrates to them how to initiate the development and implementation of statewide e-governance strategy. Minister of Communication and Digital Economy Issa Ali Pantami, who announced the donation of 110 units of computers to Kano State government, expressed confidence in the ability of the state to take lead in digital transformation.
Looking at the institutions we have in Kano and the leadership being provided by His Excellency the Governor, there are many reasons to justify
why we begin the program in Kano.
Government has, in collaboration with the Nigerian Communication Commission, installed VSAT for e-recording and e-consultation at our Tambata General Hospital. On education, we distributed a total of 3,500 computers to our public tertiary institutions.
Governor Ganduje restated the commitment of his administration towards effective management of Kano Digital Transformation Project. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And away from Kano now, following the directive by Governor Samuel Ortom, the apartment using confining their victims by the slain kidnappers who were recently involved in the kidnapping of the wife and driver of a commissioner in the state has been demolished. Charles Abba reports that the special advisor to the governor on security, Paul Hemba, led a demolition team to the location along welfare quarters in Achusa, Makodi.
The demolition followed the directive of the governor of Benue State, Samuel Ortom, when the kidnapped victims were presented to him at the Benue State Police Command headquarters. Special advisor to the governor on security, Paul Hemba, who led the demolition team, said the action is in line with the Benue anti-kidnapping laws and other such vices.
Apart from the arrest and prosecution of the offenders, it also prescribes the demolition of properties that are used for those kidnapping. And this building that has just been demolished here falls within that category. This is the building that has been used by these bandits, these kidnappers, in hiding victims while they negotiate for ransom.
He said 2 suspects were earlier arrested in connection with the abduction. The special advisor warned landlords against indiscriminate accommodation of people. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
The death has been reported of a renowned Islamic scholar in Jigawa State, Sheikh Ahmed Usman Hadija. Sheikh Usman died in his hometown, Hadija, after a brief illness at the age of 86. He left behind his wife, 29 children and relations. Amongst his relations is the Secretary to the National Judicial Council, Alhaji Gambo Saleh Hadija. Now time to take a quick look at the weather prospect for Wednesday.
Hello and welcome. For Wednesday morning, we expect thunderstorms to affect parts of Taraba, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, and Kaduna. There are chances of rains over FCT, Niger, Kwara, Kogi, as well as Delta, Ondo, Abia, and the southeast coast. By afternoon, we expect widespread thunderstorms over the north, with prospect of rains over the central cities, extending to Ekiti, Ondo, and the southeast coast. Let's take a look at the weather forecast across some selected cities. Thank you for watching.
And that's our package on Network News tonight. Many thanks for being a part of it. And here's a quick reminder. Please be a part of the fight against rape and rapists. I'm Yen Ray John. Good night.